Two eighth-grade girls went for a walk on a quiet February afternoon and never came home. Their names were Liberty German and Abigail Williams, and their story would haunt America for years. What happened on that trail? Why did it take 5 years to arrest a suspect? And does that arrest truly bring justice? This isn't just a true crime story. It's a case that exposed cracks in small-town policing, shook a community, and ignited a national obsession. We've gathered the real facts. No speculation, no filler. Just the raw timeline, the evidence, and the questions that still remain, including the one that keeps everyone up at night. Did they catch the right man? If you care about truth, justice, and the stories the headlines forget, this is one you'll never stop thinking about. Subscribe to Times and Tide for the full documentary, because time may move on, but the tide always brings the truth back in. February 13th, 2017. On a cool Monday afternoon, Libby German and Abigail Abby Williams set out for a walk on the Monon High Bridge Trail, a familiar local landmark in Delphi, Indiana. At 1:35 p.m., Libby's sister dropped them off. What seemed like a normal outing quickly turned into a mystery that would grip the nation. The trail was quiet. A few local hikers had passed through earlier in the day, but by 2 p.m., the girls were alone on the old railroad bridge. At 2:07 p.m., Libby took a photo of Abby walking on the bridge and posted it to Snapchat. That would be the last verified public sign of life from either of them. Libby, perceptively aware of something wrong, began recording video on her phone. That footage, which would later become the foundation of the investigation, captured a man approaching them. He uttered 2 chilling words: "Down the hill." When the girls didn't return to the pickup spot by 3:15 p.m., their families became concerned. By 5:30 p.m., police were alerted. That night, hundreds of volunteers and officers scoured the trail and surrounding woods. The search was paused after dark. The next day, their bodies were found in a wooded area near Deer Creek. How could such a tragic event unfold in a tight-knit town like Delphi? On the morning of February 14th, 2017, a renewed search effort began. Law enforcement officials, including the Delphi Police Department, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, and Indiana State Police, resumed their work alongside civilian volunteers. Snow dusted the wooded terrain, making the search effort even more challenging. Shortly after noon, a group of volunteer searchers came upon a grim scene. The bodies of Liberty German and Abigail Williams were discovered on private property roughly 50 feet from the north bank of Deer Creek. The location was about half a mile from where the girls were last seen. Authorities were swift but careful in their response. The scene was immediately secured and the area cordoned off. Investigators treated it as a homicide case from the outset. Despite early media speculation, police remained guarded about the condition of the bodies and the cause of death. No official details were released regarding how the girls died, a silence that would continue for years. The Carroll County Coroner's Office later confirmed their deaths were homicides, but no further information was released to preserve the integrity of the investigation. What law enforcement did confirm was this: a video clip and audio recording found on Liberty German's phone had become central to the case. Though the video was not publicly released in full, police shared a still image from the footage showing a man walking on the bridge, head down, hands in pockets, dressed in jeans, a navy jacket, and a hoodie. His image would become synonymous with the case. Also released was a short audio clip, "Down the Hill." Those 3 words, spoken by an unidentified male, would become one of the most haunting pieces of digital evidence in modern criminal history. As the discovery of the bodies hit the news cycle, the small community of Delphi was shaken. Local schools closed temporarily, community vigils were organized, and support poured in from across the country. Candlelight ceremonies filled the evenings and memorials were erected at the Monon High Bridge Trailhead. Investigators urged the public to come forward with any information, no matter how small. Tips began to flood in. Within 24 hours, over 600 tips had been submitted. Police set up a dedicated tip line and urged anyone who had been on the trail that day to call. Despite the rapid public interest, investigators emphasized a cautious approach. They avoided releasing sensitive details, reiterating that preserving the integrity of the investigation was paramount. The FBI became involved early, assisting in forensic analysis, digital evidence processing, and behavioral profiling. In July 2017, law enforcement released a composite sketch based on eyewitness accounts and the video footage. The sketch depicted a white male, aged 18 to 40, with curly hair and a goatee. Police emphasized the sketch was a composite, not an exact portrait, and it should be considered along with other evidence. Then, in April 2019, a second sketch was released, one dramatically different from the first. This newer image portrayed a clean-shaven younger man. According to police, this sketch was based on witness accounts believed to be more accurate. Authorities stated the new image replaced the original sketch, though both remained part of the case file. This shift confused the public. Why such a change? Investigators clarified that evolving information and a reassessment of witness statements led to the new sketch being prioritized. The public was again urged to come forward with tips, especially from those who might recognize the voice, gait, or clothing of the man in the video. Could someone close to the suspect have recognized the voice but chosen to stay silent? What compelled the killer to record himself in such a moment? Was it a mistake or a message? In the years following the murders, one investigative area drew intense focus: digital forensics. Investigators had possession of Liberty German's phone, which contained the brief video and audio recording of the suspect. But they needed more. Indiana State Police and the FBI worked to map digital footprints. They examined GPS data, mobile pings, and social media activity in the hours surrounding February 13, 2017. The area had limited surveillance coverage, but efforts were made to trace any digital presence. Investigators did not disclose the full contents of the recording, but confirmed it was longer than the released portion. The withheld sections, they stated, included information only the killer would know, a tactic often used to vet false tips. Analysts also sought video from homes, businesses, and passing cars. While no new footage of the suspect was recovered publicly, law enforcement continued to review all submissions. In collaboration with data scientists, geolocation experts, and tech companies, law enforcement hoped to cross-reference digital anomalies. They explored whether any nearby cell phones pinged unusual locations or displayed deleted data. No smoking gun emerged, but pieces of the puzzle were slowly aligning. How much can technology really reveal? And how much still depends on human instinct? Did someone delete a text, disable GPS, or switch off a phone to stay hidden? What does justice look like to a town still grieving? Can a community ever feel safe again while the truth remains buried? Law enforcement maintained a consistent public presence. Regular press updates reminded the public the case was active. Yet behind the scenes, frustration mounted. Despite the viral audio and sketch, thousands of tips yielded no confirmed suspect. Investigators traveled across states to chase leads. Some arrests were made on unrelated charges, and many individuals were publicly ruled out. In 2021, investigators conducted a significant search of the Wabash River near Peru, Indiana, based on an undisclosed tip. Details remain sparse, and it is unknown what, if anything, was recovered. Still, it demonstrated the ongoing seriousness of the case. The Indiana State Police reaffirmed they were not giving up. "This case is not cold," they emphasized. "We know this person is out there, and we will find him." In an era of short news cycles, the Delphi case defied media fatigue. True crime communities continued to analyze, podcast, and debate the evidence. Documentaries and specials kept public interest alive, and pressure on investigators high. How many years must pass before the silence breaks? Could someone be harboring a terrible secret, hoping the world forgets? On October 28, 2022, after over 5 years of public anticipation, authorities made a major announcement. 50-year-old Richard M. Allen, a pharmacy technician from Delphi, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. The arrest shocked many. Allen was a longtime Delphi resident with no known criminal history. In fact, Allen had previously spoken with investigators back in 2017, acknowledging he had been on the Monon High Bridge the day the girls vanished. According to court documents, a key breakthrough came through ballistic analysis. A spent-unspent .40 caliber round found between the girls' bodies allegedly matched a pistol registered to Allen. Investigators claimed that Allen admitted to owning the gun and never having lent it to anyone else. Other circumstantial evidence included Allen's own statement in 2017 that he was on the trail wearing clothes similar to those described by witnesses. Prosecutors suggested this helped link him to the image captured on Liberty German's phone. Still, the case against Allen was largely circumstantial. The public awaited further details, but the court sealed most filings to protect the integrity of the investigation. Could the killer have walked among the community unnoticed all this time? If Allen is guilty, why remain in Delphi? Or was that exactly why he did? The probable cause affidavit, initially sealed, was released in heavily redacted form in November 2022. It detailed how investigators linked Allen to the scene. According to the affidavit, witnesses saw a man matching Allen's description near the bridge on the day of the murders. His vehicle, a 2016 Ford Focus, was seen parked oddly at the trailhead. The document also confirmed the discovery of the unspent bullet and described Allen's voluntary admission to being at the trail that day. The defense has pushed back, arguing there is no DNA, fingerprints, or video proving Allen committed the murders. The public response was mixed. While some believed law enforcement finally had their man, others questioned whether the evidence was truly compelling. Supporters of the victims' families expressed cautious optimism but emphasized the need for a fair trial. Meanwhile, online communities reignited with theories, some supporting Allen's guilt, others insisting on alternative suspects. Is this the long-awaited break in the case, or could tunnel vision threaten justice? How much trust should be placed in circumstantial evidence alone? Allen's legal journey began swiftly. He was moved to a state facility for his safety, and a defense team was appointed. His lawyers filed motions for bail and challenged the strength of the prosecution's evidence. The case has faced delays and complex pretrial maneuvering. Allen pleaded not guilty to both charges. His defense claims he is being wrongfully accused, emphasizing the lack of physical evidence. In court filings, defense attorneys pointed to gaps in the investigation, suggesting the prosecution was relying too heavily on Allen's presence at the scene rather than concrete proof of guilt. They also questioned whether the bullet could definitively link Allen to the murders. Media scrutiny intensified. Supporters of both the prosecution and defense filled court hearings, wearing buttons and holding signs. The case sparked renewed national interest in how justice is served and what it means to accuse someone in a high-profile unsolved case. The trial date has been moved multiple times as legal teams sort through thousands of documents and expert reports. The court has tried to balance transparency with fairness, releasing limited updates to the public. If the justice system fails, in either direction, can the wounds of Delphi ever heal? Will a courtroom finally reveal the truth or raise even more questions? As the case progressed into 2023, scrutiny around digital evidence intensified. One of the most crucial elements from the beginning was the video and audio recording captured on Liberty German's phone. Law enforcement confirmed that Libby had the foresight to begin recording when she sensed danger, producing the now famous clip of a man saying, "Guys, down the hill." Though the image and voice have been publicly circulated, the full contents of the video remain sealed from public view. Authorities have only released a small portion to preserve the integrity of the investigation. In addition to the recording, investigators used advanced digital forensics to track cell phone pings, examine social media activity, and review trail surveillance where available. While none of this digital evidence has been publicly confirmed to directly place Allen at the scene during the murders, the prosecution claims it provides supporting context. Analysts also examined potential geolocation metadata from Libby's phone, though authorities have not fully disclosed their findings. Meanwhile, defense lawyers have questioned the digital timelines and emphasized the potential for data misinterpretation. As forensic science continues to evolve, the role of AI-enhanced voice analysis, behavioral profiling, and cell phone triangulation may prove vital in trial proceedings. Can modern technology finally close a case rooted in a single smartphone recording? Or has the delay compromised digital trails that could have led to resolution? The Delphi case has drawn sustained national media attention. From press conferences to televised interviews with the victims' families, every development has been closely watched. In many ways, public interest became both a benefit and a burden. On one hand, it kept the case from going cold. On the other, it sparked rampant speculation, online sleuthing, and unverified theories that sometimes obstructed police efforts. Major news outlets like CNN, Fox News, NBC, and true crime YouTube channels reported every twist in the investigation. Social media groups formed, some with thousands of members dedicated to sharing updates, analyzing clues, or even proposing alternate suspects. While the exposure generated pressure on law enforcement to solve the case, it also brought criticism, especially during periods of silence. The families of Abby and Libby urged the public to be respectful, emphasizing that misinformation only deepens their pain. The media's spotlight has remained relentless, but whether it's helped or hindered justice remains debatable. How does a community move forward while waiting for closure? Can advocacy transform pain into prevention and memory into justice? Following the arrest of Richard Allen in late 2022, legal proceedings began to unfold. Allen faced 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. He pleaded not guilty. The state's case against Allen included sealed affidavits and witness statements, which prosecutors argued would be jeopardized by premature public release. The judge agreed, keeping most documents sealed to maintain case integrity. Meanwhile, Allen's defense team contested the evidence and filed multiple motions for discovery and dismissal. They argued that the case lacked physical evidence directly tying their client to the crime scene and emphasized the circumstantial nature of the digital and behavioral evidence presented. A gag order was placed to prevent public commentary from officials and attorneys, an unusual but not unprecedented step. Public interest remained intense, with courtroom sketches and legal filings circulating widely online. Pre-trial hearings highlighted the challenges of prosecuting a years-old case with partially deteriorated evidence. Still, the prosecution remained adamant that they could establish Allen's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. In a case where so much is still hidden from public view, can justice truly be transparent? Should sealed evidence in high-profile cases be reconsidered in favor of public accountability? Despite an arrest, many believe the Delphi case is far from resolved. Some observers question whether Allen acted alone, while others ask if the true killer has even been caught. Investigators have not ruled out the possibility of additional suspects. In official statements, law enforcement continues to encourage the public to come forward with any new information. The FBI and Indiana State Police remain involved, though details of their ongoing efforts are scarce. The community of Delphi has not forgotten. Annual walks, candlelight vigils, and park fundraisers continue to honor Abby and Libby. Lawmakers and nonprofits have cited the case in advocating for better forensic tools, expanded DNA databases, and more funding for rural police departments. Online discussions also persist, though many are more cautious now, recognizing the damage that speculation can cause to real investigations. True crime enthusiasts often return to the case as a benchmark for how public interest intersects with justice. Does the arrest of one man bring justice, or is closure still out of reach until every truth is uncovered? Is justice a moment or an ongoing mission? As of 2025, the Delphi case remains an open wound and an enduring symbol. Two young girls, a quiet town, and a trail that changed the nation's view on rural safety. While an arrest has been made, trials are pending, and final answers are yet to come. What cannot be disputed is the lasting impact Liberty German and Abigail Williams have had. Their story reshaped how law enforcement collaborates across agencies. It emphasized the value of digital evidence. It highlighted the determination of families, the burden of silence, and the power of community support. Their families still advocate, their town still remembers, and the internet still watches. This case is no longer just a headline. It's a call for vigilance, empathy, and enduring justice. If you've followed this story, don't stop here. Let their memory guide you to action. Subscribe to Times and Tide for more deeply researched, emotionally resonant, and fact-verified true crime documentaries. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What does justice look like in this case? Do you believe all the facts are on the table? Because time may pass, but the tide never forgets.